Every day, consumers are being bombarded with the next big thing in health, wellness, and fitness. What's the future of keeping ourselves healthy, and what's just a passing fad? Hi, I'm Joey Thurman, and if you don't know me, I'm a health and fitness expert and author. I've been fortunate enough to work with celebrities, athletes, C-suite executives, and everyone in between. I've been featured on the Today Show, Live with Kelly and Ryan, Good Morning America, TEDx, and lots of other publications. As part of my ever-increasing thirst for knowledge, which ironically happened after college, I decided to create the Fad or Future podcast. What sets this podcast apart is that I am the guinea pig for these episodes. I don't only want to bring in world-class experts on the show, I want to truly get a first-hand experience what it's like to, say, go on ketamine and trip for my depression, go on a 3-day fast drinking nothing but coffee and water for age reversal, eat nothing but plants and get the blood work done to back it up, or even get my brain mapped to see how messed up my head is from getting knocked around playing hockey. Once I try these things, I bring on the experts to talk about my experience and explain it to the audience in a digestible manner and ask the true question. Is it a fad or is it the future? Because after all, we don't want to be fatties. All right, what's up, everyone? It's Joey Thurman, and welcome to another episode of the Fad or Future podcast. I'm here with Coss the Boss from Conbody. Now, he just kicked the living shit out of me inside of a prison cell with a bunch of other sweaty people, make me run back and forth, do some damn crab walks, all sorts of crazy ass shit. And yes, I do stink. Can you smell me, man?
I don't smell anything.
We're good. I smell like roses, I say. I don't sweat. I glisten. All right, my man. Conbody. So, like the name, tell me a little bit about Conbody and how you got started.
Yeah, Conbody is a prison-style boot camp where we hire people coming out of the prison system to teach fitness classes. This was all based off my personal experience. I went into prison for running a huge drug delivery service in New York City. At 19, I was making over $2 million a year.
$2 million?
Yeah.
Did you hide that money somewhere?
I had a little bit, but it's all gone. It's all gone, and I didn't use none of it for the current business. Everything was taken away.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, I mean, I went into prison for that, and that's when I found out I had a lot of health issues. My cholesterol levels were through the roof, and they placed me on medication. They recommended me to start working out, eating correctly in prison.
So when you went to prison,
yep,
you found out that you were not healthy.
Exactly. Yeah. And I didn't have an idea. I was surprised, but I was like pretty overweight. And I didn't feel like I was a kid again. You know, when I went in there, like I was not active. It was hard for me to like go up one set of stairs, you know what I mean? Like it was hard to move, you know. So
when you got locked up, how long was your sentence?
7 years.
7 years. Did you do the whole 7?
No, I did 4 out of that.
Okay. So you get in there and they say, we're going to do a physical?
Yeah, so automatically you get sent to the medical unit and they take your blood exams and all that stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah. So you got locked up and you actually found out that you were unhealthy, where a lot of people don't have health insurance or anything when they're not locked up.
Yeah.
And you had to go to prison to somebody say, hey, all right, dude, you're locked up. All right, so you went to prison, you found out that you were unhealthy. What was next?
And that's when the doctor was like, you know, if you continue living this lifestyle, within 5 years you could die of a heart attack. And I was like, what? Like, seriously? And they placed me on medication. Mm-hmm. They said you need to start like exercising, eating correctly. Obviously, in prison you don't get the best food, but I was trying to make the best, healthier decisions. I stopped like drinking the Kool-Aid that they was giving in fucking the mess hall. Okay, and shit.
That purple drink that Dave Chappelle.
That purple shit. You know, mystery drink. And yeah, I started working out obsessively, and I lost 70 pounds in 6 months.
70 pounds. So what did those workouts look like? I mean, you're probably, like, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not getting kale smoothies and a bunch of protein shakes in prison. So how did that workout routine, did you have any idea what the hell you were doing, or you just kind of start working out?
Yeah, I mean, I played sports when I was younger. It was not the first time I was incarcerated. Okay. I was in shape before. I did 2 prison sentences before that. And so I did a year when I was 15, a year when I was 19, and then 4 years after that for this longer stint. So I knew how to work out, and I took a combination of exercises that I learned from other inmates in prison, stuff that I learned from, working out and as a kid, playing sports and stuff like that. And I came up with my own routine in my prison cell, things that I could do with just my body weight or the stuff that I had in my cell, and then run in the prison yard. So I was running maybe around 2 hours a day.
Really?
Yeah.
So how much time were you actually spent in the cell every day?
I was spending a lot of time in the cell. I don't know, maybe.
Most of your day, are you in the cell? Do you get time in the yard?
Yeah.
You say you're running around?
Yeah, so you get, when I was in general population, you get like 4 hours of rec time.
Okay.
So you get that, and then most of the time after that you're maybe working or you're in the cell block.
Wow. Okay. And how big was your cell?
9x6.
9x6. Just you, or you have a roommate, cellmate?
At that time, I was by myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what were you? So, is that every single day you were doing that? You're running a couple hours a day. You were doing body weight exercises
in the
yourself?
beginning, I was like fucking wheezing and fucking dying. You know what I mean? I couldn't even, and I was a smoker too. I was smoking cigarettes.
Like me today in your class.
Yeah, super unhealthy. I was dying. I couldn't. So there was like around the yard when I first started running, and that's what I basically started doing, was running from one pole to the other. It was like light poles in a prison yard, and I would run to one side and then walk and then run and then walk, and then eventually I started doing my first lap and then a second lap, and then I just kept running like Forrest Gump.
So run, Forrest, run. So what are the other inmates? What are they doing? Are they watching you? They shit?
People were making fun of me, man.
Really?
People were calling me honey bun jokes. It was like fat boy. They literally called me Fat Forrest Gump, from the cell block. So you hear them screaming and shit like that. And I was like running with my middle finger up, basically, But just I was laughing at it too, but I was like just focused, and I was like, yo, I need to keep moving. This is for me.
Yeah. So did you ever get any? They're making fun. Did you ever get any flack, any trouble with anyone from doing that?
Nah, I didn't like. Most of the people that were screaming at me were people from the people that were in solitary confinement.
Okay.
So in solitary confinement block it's called S block in that prison, and they have like 1 hour a rec in little cages. And so when they step out of the back of their cells, there's a small cage, and they can see the regular population of the yard. So they're screaming, and I'm like, you fucking cell gangsters, get back into GP. I'm going to fuck you up. You know what I mean? Knowing that they're probably spending like, maybe 2-3 years in solitary confinement.
Okay, so you weren't worried about them getting out and trying to make a shank or something?
I didn't really... Whatever.
He was good. You're good. All right, well, you came out of that one. All right, so running a couple hours a day, you're doing workouts in your cell. What are you eating?
So I was eating. So you get to go to commissary. The prison food I try to avoid, like the regular prison food.
Which was like what?
It was like mystery meat, and so you'll have like stuff in a bag. That was like in a sauce and a meat, and they heat it up in this huge kettle, and then they just pour it in pans and just scoop it up in ladles and just dump it on your tray.
So pretty appetizing.
Yeah, it was not the prettiest shit, but I try to avoid that unless I really had to. There was, when you move into like a new prison, you some of the stuff you carry, you can't move to a new unit. So, but I was going to commissary most of the time. I was eating like oatmeal with peanut butter. I'd eat like peanut butter and jelly with coffee, basically like shit like that. And then and then I just avoided like eating a lot of bread.
Yeah.
I stopped eating bread for a little while. I think maybe for like 4 months. I stopped drinking all the juice or like soda and all that stuff. I was literally just drinking water and eating a fruit.
Okay,
and that's how I got my electrolytes.
And this was just kind of trial and error, and you decided I'm going to stop. Yeah. Did you have any nutritional knowledge prior to this, or you just figured I should stop eating bread and mystery meat?
Yeah, I didn't really have any like I was not a nutritionist. I'm still not a nutritionist. But I feel like people, when people ask me like, oh, can you recommend food? I'm like, you know what the fuck to eat, man. Like, just stop eating the fucking ice cream, stop eating a pizza, like, eat a salad.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
so
that
no
was
peanut butter and jelly and coffee in the morning?
Yeah, no, I was doing that. Like, I was burning a lot of calories. I was literally like putting a whole garbage bag on my whole body. And then putting like my whole prison uniform.
Oh, you made your own sweatsuit.
Yeah, I made my own fucking prison sweatsuit.
Oh, man. I did that one day with a boxing coach. He put that nasty-ass thing on me. I'm not quite sure that he washed it.
Yeah.
Man, I just took that thing off. There was several pounds of water that came out of it.
Yeah.
And he was a 6'6" former pro boxer. I'm like, this motherfucker did not wash this thing. Yeah. That was nasty. All right. So it took you how long to lose all the 70 pounds?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when did you come up with your Conbody concept?
So I was as I was running the yard, I caught the eyes of other inmates, and one inmate came up to me, and we started working out and running laps. And then we started doing like this whole workout routine in the prison yard. People started forming a circle around me. I would lead the workout. Sometimes they would lead the workout, and we just, it was like a camaraderie. You build it. I didn't have any idea that I was going to start a business behind fitness, but it was not until I ended up in solitary confinement. And in solitary confinement towards the end of my incarceration, I was about to be released in 2 years. 2 months, and I got into an altercation with an officer that led me into solitary. And I was in 24-hour lockdown, and I just started reflecting and saying, like, what I was doing on the street was not right. I need to do something right. And quickly it hit me like a light bulb. Like this is my passion. This is what I love to do. I want to work out. I love the community, and I wrote out a fake mini business plan, and just made it happen
while in solitary confinement. Yeah. So that I'm not sure you ever heard of sensory deprivation chambers, but I think sensory deprivation is essentially you're somewhere where you have no access to light or the outside world. You're kind of within your own thoughts. I think solitary confinement was probably the original sensory deprivation chamber.
Yeah.
So that man, you didn't have to pay any money for that. You just went to prison, got told you were unhealthy, and got an altercation, sent to solitary confinement. All right. So you started these programs, classes, if you will, while you were in prison.
Yeah.
And when you got out, what was the first thing that you did?
I came home right back to the block, and the next morning I got up and I started doing the workout right in the block. I started doing it right across the street from where my mom lives, and started doing it in the park. And I was basically like, where I picked up like a piece of broken pipe, stuck it between the fences, and I was doing like pull-up bar training there by myself. And then my mom, she's a beast. She works out with me 4 times a week. She's
really?
65. She does the workout and doesn't bitch like you.
I tell you, let me paint the picture of this place. So you go in this place, and there's a second floor. There's Conbody on the wall, and then literally there's a mugshot wall where you can say if you're 5 feet all the way up to 7 feet. And afterwards, you can hold like a clipboard thing. So
mugshot board.
Yeah, mugshot board. So you do the time. I'm a pretty white boy. I've stayed out of prison. So, and you go into this place, and there's literally jail cell bars.
Yeah.
Man, this isn't just like some sort of like Hollywood crap where you just put some bars in there. There's jail cell bars. It's a little hot. It's a little sweaty. You're cussing at me.
Yep.
Yeah, like true military boot style. And he's like, "Oh man, you look like you work out." I'm like, "Oh shit, this is not gonna be good." And for how long was the class? Like 35, 40 minutes?
45 minutes.
45 minutes of straight hell. Like there was no breaks. There was nothing. No weights. I bet we did probably 200 damn burpees. Yeah, and when I thought we were done doing a burpee, and I went down on that sweaty ass floor, he's like, "All right, we're doing another 10, and then another 10, and then another 10," and then he's yelling at me. And it was truly like a prison-style workout, and it's dark, and you do feel like you're in solitary confinement. So kudos to you, or, I mean, whatever you want to say, man. That was horrible, but good.
Yeah, I think it's a place where you focus. You know what I mean? Like it's dark. It's when once that gate locks, it's like you doing the time, you focus, you already past that threshold, you know what I mean? Like now you have to get the shit done.
Yeah. I mean, it was something else. It was unlike any experience. I mean, I've done a lot of workouts, and that was something I just kept going. I'm like, man, when the hell is this guy going to tell me we're done? And he's not. He just kept. We did some crab walks and shit. Like, I don't do that stuff. You give me some weights, give me 10 reps, and I'm good. Maybe pump up, get a tan, look in the mirror. I'll maybe take a picture for Instagram, shit like that. All right, man. So you started working out in the park.
Yeah.
And when did people start kind of working out with you, or how did you start the process?
Yeah, getting back to my mom, she was my first person.
Okay.
She was.
Did you charge her?
I didn't charge her. She gave me a discount on the couch that I was renting from her. You know what I mean?
What a good mom.
But yeah, she used to like do like her power walks in the morning and stuff like that, and like be active. And then I was like, yo, mom, you ain't doing shit, so like I started training her, and she got one of her friends, and then I started training both of them, and then I started just approaching people that was walking by, and they was looking at us, and I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, you want to try this workout? Boom. And just started like continue to see guerrilla marketing, and just hitting the streets and just stopping people, talking to them. And it took about maybe a year and a half in the street, and then eventually, it was times where it was getting cold, November, December hit, like people don't want to work out. I'm the only one showing up, people signing up but not showing up.
Wow.
And then I found like this small little studio space where I started running classes out of there. And then eventually that started getting packed, and I couldn't handle all the classes myself.
Right.
And then I hired my first person who came out of prison, and then eventually it started snowballing after that.
So you call them trainers, coaches?
Yeah, trainers.
Trainers, okay. Do they go through some sort of like certification process? Or
Yeah, they all got their certification.
Okay.
Pretty much all of them are NASM certified.
Okay, which is, anybody listening, North American Sports Medicine, actually pretty good. So do you have any rules? So you say that your trainers are, formerly incarcerated. Now, does anybody have any apprehension about working out with a former inmate? Have you experienced that at all?
Yeah, I mean, whoever's going to come in, they know what they're going to get into.
Right.
So, you either like it or not. You know what I mean? But
so don't leave your bag unattended?
No, we actually don't use any lockers. You saw that. So we say trust the ex-con with your shit. Like we have this trust in community, and we really break down those barriers of, just come in, get down, get dirty, and everything's going to be fine, and just trying to change that whole narrative of what people see of somebody who's been incarcerated.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're giving people second, third, probably multiple chances. I mean, as you said,
some even first chances. I feel like, a couple of the people that I've hired went in at 15 years old, did 25, 30 years, and what type of chance do you have when you're going in at 15, 16 years old?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of screwed and part of the system at that point.
Yeah.
So now, and I noticed in your location, you've got a lot of information about, formerly, people that are incarcerated and demographics.
Yeah.
How do the people find you to become a trainer afterwards? Are you seeking them out?
Nah, I get hit up with jail mail all the time.
Mail?
Yeah, I got like fan jail mail from inmates all across the country, some around the world. It's crazy. I get mail from like Australian prisons, Brazilian prisons, Italian prisons, like it's German prisons. Like it's just insane the amount of jail mail I get, and it's pretty much the same story. A lot of people, they do a lot of time, they're fit, they're in shape. They hear about me through like. I've been featuring a lot of men's health magazines, so you don't really get, you don't have internet inside, so all your news is old school. You read magazines,
actual tangible paper that they can grab and turn and read, and
exactly. So
wow,
they see me there, and then I get hit up, and that's and most of it is just like, I'm coming home in like 6 months. Can I get an opportunity to work there? Unfortunately, I can't hire everyone.
Sure.
It's been a difficult process to like raise money and just get this off the ground.
Right.
But I'm making it happen and bootstrapping it.
That's great, man. So do you have any rules for anybody that's coming in that wants to work for you? Like somebody like these nonviolent crimes? Is there anything specific or?
Yeah, the only thing I haven't hired any sex offenders.
Okay.
You know, I've gotten hit up by a few, and I just tell them, you know, I refer them to different programs.
Right.
But, you know, we got all types of crimes from, you know, drug dealers to murderers.
Okay. So now, what you said you've got some interesting stories about your trainers. You know, what's some of the interesting stories that, you know, somebody that you hired, the first person coming out working for you?
What do you mean, interesting stories?
I was reading up, and you said every one of your trainers has a story.
Yeah, I mean, they all, you know, went in. A lot of them went in when they were really young.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1 second. Let me cut that off. I just don't want this alarm to.
No, see, he's so busy. He's getting phone calls during the podcast.
I don't want this alarm. Let's try this again.
That works. Oh, or you set yourself an alarm.
Yeah.
It's like one of those fake calls on a date. Like, I got to get out of here. All right, so your first person hired.
Yeah.
What was their story?
Yeah. So the first person hired was Sultan Malik. He did 14 years in prison, 7 years in solitary confinement.
Jeez.
He went in for kidnapping drug dealers.
Really?
Yeah.
Kidnapping drug dealers.
Kidnapping drug dealers and robbing them.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a guy I don't want to get on his wrong side.
Yeah, I mean he's an amazing guy. He actually got nominated for like top 5 trainers of Reebok.
Wow.
He's also an active trainer. You know, he's been featured everywhere. He's a beast. You know, we call him the beast, Conbody now.
Really?
Yeah, he's my vice president, and he basically trains a lot of the people that we hire, and they go under his wing.
Yeah, that's great that people can, you know, find a place, because I'm sure coming out of prison is gonna be hard to find a job.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you think I'd survive in prison?
I don't know, man. I think you got to come to Conbody back again and do a couple more push-ups, bro.
a couple. I think I did like 300 push-ups. All right. So you start at your first location after like a year and a half. How many locations do you have now?
2.
2 locations?
Yeah, no. After a year and a half, it actually took me. After a year and a half, I started renting out a little studio.
Okay.
And then eventually opened up. It was January 2016 when we first opened up, and then so now it's been like almost 4 years of running a studio. Yeah, and we have 2 locations now, one in London, one in New York.
That's pretty cool. So is the London one up and running?
Yep.
How's that doing?
It's good. Yeah,
really?
It's been a crazy journey. I mean, I got a really good opportunity with this hotel group. It's called the Stratford Hotel.
Okay.
So it's a half residential, half hotel group, and they basically built out the space for us and hooked us up. So I really couldn't avoid that opportunity and jumped on it.
It's hard to turn that down.
Yeah.
So do the trainers there have cool accents?
Cool accents,
yeah.
And they've been incarcerated.
Okay. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like as much as I liked working out with you, I'd rather get yelled at with somebody with an accent, I think.
Yeah.
It's
actually pretty funny though. It's for me, it's funny to hear like a British accent cursing. You know what I mean? And like
they just sound much more educated than we do.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's F this and the F that, I like listening to their voice. All right. So, what advice would you give someone that? They're probably can they listen to podcasts in prison?
No, but I mean, you can listen to the radio.
Okay.
So if you're on FM AM.
All right. So what advice would you give someone that, is looking for a second, third chance, first chance, who maybe has been incarcerated, who they're trying to find, where their path can go, and then maybe they're going to go back to, committing crimes or selling drugs. What's something that you could tell them?
I mean, it's a process. When you come out of the system, it's not easy. You're faced with so many adversities. You can't find, housing is a huge issue.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the people that I've hired were homeless. Living at Conbody basically.
Yeah.
I literally had like 4 air mattresses there at one point.
Really?
Yeah, and until we got them shelter. it's hard. You know, you're so optimistic when you're inside. You're like, I have this amazing idea. I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna do this, that, and then you like come home and everything is just like being shut in your face, and you could get frustrated. You know, and that's why, you know, three out of 4 people coming out of the prison system can't find a job within a year.
Really?
And that results into high recidivism rate. Today we have the highest recidivism rate in the world. They did a new study. Within 8 years, 82% of the people coming out will go back into the prison system.
82%?
82%.
Because if that first year it's hard to find a job, then they're probably going to go back to old habits.
Yeah.
Man, that's
and then you feel
huge.
The pressure, especially when you have a family. You know, I felt the pressure too. I didn't want to go back, you know, but I felt the pressure of my, you know, ex-wife and my son, you know, and I wanted to provide as much as I can. But,
right.
You know, at the end of the day, I think what my advice is just take it one day at a time, you know, and everything's going to be all right. As long as you wake up, you know, you're going to find some food, you're going to wear some clothes, you're going to continuously wake up, you know, and just do the time.
Yeah. Do the time's right, man.
Yeah.
Now, let's see. Where do you feel like Conbody is headed? What's your dream scenario?
My dream is to, you know, hire as many people coming out of the prison system as possible. Today we have a 0 recidivism rate. Anybody that's worked with us has not gone back inside.
Really? How many people so far?
45.
45?
45 people.
And that's been how many years now?
6 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to try to bring down that 80%?
Yeah. I need to open up more spots.
You're working, dude. You're in London.
Yeah.
You're in London.
Yeah, no, I'm getting more opportunities like that, and I mean, my dream is to probably license this, Conbody around the country, you know, certain parts around the world that have been impacted by the criminal justice space, and I feel like we could really cause a huge impact and really break down a lot of stereotypes between, you know, professionals that never met anybody that's been incarcerated, and people, you know, who have this certain perception of somebody that's been in the system.
Yeah. What are the best resources that have helped you along the way? I know that you said your mom.
Yeah.
Which she seems like, you know, she's a rock for you. But
yeah.
Anything else that has really helped you along the way?
Yeah. I mean, when I came home, I met these people from this program called Defy Ventures. Defy Ventures is not a venture capital company. It's a nonprofit organization that believes illegal entrepreneurs like myself could become legal entrepreneurs. So They helped me start off my own business, get things off the ground. I joined every nonprofit I could probably, you know, get resources from. I joined Fortune Society, which helped me get an internship, you know, get my resume up, helped me with interview skills. Career Gear, who gave me my first suit, you know, when I went for my first job interview. And it just, you know, that's how I came home. I humbled myself, and I was like, I can't do this myself. And I took advantage of all these nonprofits and resources. I went to soup kitchens and got food for my mom, you know, and things like that. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, I would be like looking at these people and be like, yo, you crazy? I'm not standing on a line for food. You know what I mean? But when I came home, I was like, I need to change. You know, like none of this stuff is important. What's important is just living and just providing for the fam.
So you had to put your pride aside,
exactly,
essentially. And I'm sure standing in line for food is something that nobody wants to do. But if you feel like you wanted to keep it straight, that's really what you had to do. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's about what you have to do, not what you want to do.
Yeah,
man. That's a great story. So if you were to step into my shoes, what would you ask yourself that I didn't?
What do you mean if I was you?
What would you ask yourself that I missed asking you? It's a tough question. But nobody's ever asked you that, huh?
Yeah, no. I guess what I want personally for my future.
Yeah, what is that?
I think, you know, what I want to do is I obviously, you know, help other people and stuff like that. But personally, I want to just live a calm, healthy, successful life. And I don't view successful as like having millions of dollars, and all that, like having all this materialistic thing. I feel like success for me is like continuously living, showing up and delivering, and just continuously doing the right thing, know, and that's, I feel like my mom is perfect example of that. She's 65. She works out 4 times a week. She eats the best food because she cooks it. She wears whatever the hell she wants. You know what I mean? And she doesn't make a lot of money, but at the end of the day, I feel like that's real success. Living a long, healthy life, and that's what I want to do.
Long, healthy, happy
life.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, we got referred from a mutual friend, and like, hey, you need to work out with this former convict. Like, oh, all right, but you have this calm demeanor about you. And is this something that you've always had, or when you were a teenager and you were dealing? Is it how you've always been?
I've always been pretty calm, but I could get crazy a little bit.
Yeah. I can see that during the 45 minutes.
I preserve a lot of my energy, when I need to deliver. But for the most part, I've gone through all the feelings. I've been mad. I've gotten into fights and all that stuff.
Right.
But for the most part, I'm pretty much calm and just try to be chill, man, and accept life.
Yeah, that's great. Where do you see the future of fitness heading?
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of fad stuff out there. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of pretentious, vanity stuff, and I think all that thing is gonna just bubble out. You know what I mean? It's gonna burst. All this. I don't know. There's a lot of workouts that I don't believe are like real workouts. When people get on a bike and they have and you see these people put makeup before they work out. You know what I mean? Just to take a selfie on it. You know what I mean? Like I think all that shit is pretentious, is bullshit. If you're gonna work out, you're doing it for a reason. You know what I mean?
So you're saying get in, get a sweat.
Yeah.
Do the time.
Yeah.
See what I do with that? You don't need to go to a class or somewhere to be seen.
Yeah. It's not about being seen. It's about just, concentrating on your own self and supporting the temple, which is yourself, your own body.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, because too often we're seeing all these places pop up, and they smell like lavender, and you come in
bougie fucking millennial, fucking pink and blue and shit, and I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here.
Okay,
you ain't even working out. You know what I mean? So.
Bougie is not how I would describe Conbody for sure, man.
Hell no.
No, but I truly appreciate what you're doing, and
Thank you.
I feel like everybody needs multiple chances in life, whether it's our upbringing or, something that has shaped us, good or bad. Yeah. I really feel like that people can change, and given the right opportunity and the right people around them, and 45 people, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have helped 45, all men?
Oh, and women.
45 men and women, change their lives for the better and not go back into a broken system. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. All right, man. So I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Conbody. Is it a fad or is it the future?
I think it's the future, man. I think, what we build is a really tight community of people that, that really care about the social impact space. People want to put their money in socially impacting companies. And we see that day after day when people come into our studio and want to support us. The community that we build is it's unique. You know what I mean? It's like I said before, it's not like pretentious. It's not where you're going to come and wake up and put makeup and then, look at yourself in the mirror all day. What you're going to do, you're going to get down and get dirty. And it's one of the hardest workouts. I feel like we have a great product and we deliver it strong every single day.
Yeah, I mean, even if you want to take a selfie inside of your prison cell, or what are you calling it? You get a studio space.
Yeah, I call it a studio. Yeah. We call it a cell.
I don't know. Well, let's call it a cell, because you're literally in the cell. It's too dark to take a damn selfie, and you got a fancy new camera. So leave the makeup and everything behind. If you're coming from work, it's totally fine. But that shit is gonna be sweat off.
Yeah.
And no problem. 45 minutes of no breaks, and this dude yells at you. It doesn't matter if your elbows are slipping because it's sweady. Joey, you're 6 feet tall. Put 6 inches off the ground. Yeah. I didn't wear my makeup today, man. I may be pretty, but I did not rock the makeup. All right, brother. So where can people find you?
You can check me out at conbody.com, Instagram, CONBODY, like convict body, Twitter, same thing, Facebook, every social media handle, CONBODY.
Okay.
Check me out.
Conbody, Coss the boss.
You already know.
All right. I'm Joey Thurman. This is Fad or Future. Don't be a fatty.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on that? Don't be a fatty. Be a part of the future. Coss, thanks so much.
No, thank you, Joey.
Cheers,
appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to this episode. Make sure to follow on social at Fad or Future Podcast. You can follow me at Joey Thurman Fit. Don't be a fatty. Merchandise is available. Hoodies, hats, t-shirts, and beanies at fadorfuture.com. And make sure to check back next week. We've got a good episode for you.